Thanks for tuning in to this week's news recap. First headline: El Salvador adopts Bitcoin as legal tender. On Wednesday, El Salvador passed a bill that would make Bitcoin legal tender within the country. The decision comes only days after President Nayib Bukele announced his intention to send such a law to El Salvador's Congress via video message at the Miami Bitcoin conference, and just hours after posting the proposed law on Twitter. The Bitcoin law regulates Bitcoin as unrestricted legal tender and makes El Salvador the first country to adopt cryptocurrency in such a manner. In addition, the new Bitcoin law would allow for tax contributions to be paid in Bitcoin, exchanges in Bitcoin without capital gains tax, prices to be expressed in Bitcoin but accounted for in USD. What's more, in Article 7, the bill mandates the acceptance of Bitcoin for goods and services, saying, quote, every economic agent must accept Bitcoin as payment when offered to him by whoever acquires a good or service. In Article 8, El Salvador effectively backs the risk of accepting Bitcoin as payment by offering its businesses instant convertibility of Bitcoin to USD if they wish. As Preston Byrne, a partner at Anderson Kill Law, pointed out on Twitter, El Salvador is dumping its dollars for Bitcoin by providing a means for merchants to accept BTC but receive USD from the state. While groundbreaking, the El Salvador's Bitcoin move did catch the attention of the International Monetary Fund. According to Reuters, an IMF spokesperson told reporters, quote, the adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender raises a number of macroeconomic, financial, and legal issues that require very careful analysis. Next headline: BlockFi's valuation has skyrocketed 11x since last August. BlockFi, a crypto lending platform, is finalizing a Series E of around $500 million at a valuation of nearly $5 billion, as reported by The Information. The new financing will be led by Third Point Management and Hedosophia, along with participation from existing investors. BlockFi has seen its valuation grow exponentially this year. The latest funding is nearly a 70% increase in valuation from the lending platform's Series D in March, which raised $350 million at a $3 billion valuation. Just last August, BlockFi had been valued at $435 million. In other funding news, Ledger, a crypto wallet provider, raised $380 million at a valuation of $1.5 billion in a Series C led by 10T Holdings. According to the press release, Ledger currently secures 15% of the world's crypto assets. The new fundraising will allow them to expand its hardware solutions to DeFi and enterprise capabilities. Next headline: federal officials recovered BTC from Colonial Pipeline attack. The Department of Justice announced Monday that they had seized 63.7 Bitcoin of the 75 Bitcoin that Colonial Pipeline had paid as a ransom to DarkSide, a hacking group. In May, the initial ransomware attack triggered a temporary shutdown and an East Coast gas shortage in multiple states in that region. The DOJ press release explained that, quote, by reviewing the Bitcoin public ledger, a law enforcement agent was able to track multiple Bitcoin transfers to a specific address for which the FBI had the private key, or, quote, the rough equivalent of a password needed to access assets accessible from the specific Bitcoin address. The wording from the DOJ instigated a round of rumors that the U.S. government had hacked DarkSide's Bitcoin wallet to recover the Bitcoin, a feat theoretically impossible without holding the private key or owning a quantum computer. Decrypt speculates that these rumors helped spark Bitcoin's 8% decline on Monday. While it's unclear how the Bitcoin was specifically recovered, it is likely that U.S. authorities were able to track the Bitcoin addresses and transactions to a specific identity or crypto custodian in the U.S. The attack on Colonial is just one example of what seems to be a trend in ransomware attacks fended off by Bitcoin payments. A Thursday Wall Street Journal article reports that JBS, a meat packer, paid $11 million in Bitcoin last week to shield its plants from further disruption. Next headline: Bitcoin Miami was wild. Last weekend saw 10,000 plus Bitcoiners descend upon Miami to join in on the largest Bitcoin conference in history. Aaron Griffith of the New York Times penned my favorite description of Miami's vibe during last week's conference. Quote, for a few days, the city was a raging fireball of finance, technology, and joyful anarchy, of unfathomable wealth and desperate striving. There were certainly fun moments. For example, Mayor Francis Suarez of Miami's opening speech pitched Miami as the Bitcoin, blockchain, and mining capital of the world. Representative Warren Davidson described the Fed as Dogecoining the US dollar, adding, "There's a benefit to scarcity that the Dogecoiners don't apparently get, nor does the Fed." Speaking of fiat, Cake Wallet sponsored an entire dumpster with Venezuela's national currency, the Bolivares, in an inflation spectacle that many Bitcoiners decided to take a selfie with. However, Bitcoin 2021 was not all fun and internet money. There were a few contentious moments at the conference, usually centering on the topic of Bitcoin maximalism. For example, Max Kaiser yelled, "Fuck Elon, we're not selling," before hugging MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor on stage. Eric Voorhees was booed for saying Bitcoin maximalism is bullshit after another speaker was cheered for saying Bitcoin toxicity is, quote, absolutely necessary. Floyd Mayweather was also booed after saying another crypto could someday be just as large as Bitcoin. Next headline. Solana raises $314 million. Solana Labs raised $314 million via a token sale, led by A16Z and Polychain, ranking amongst the largest token sales for a blockchain protocol. The raise was suggested earlier this week by Decrypt, which reported that Solana was looking to raise anywhere between $300 million and $450 million. Solana Labs CEO Anatoly Yakovenko intends to scale the protocol, saying, quote, "The next phase is onboarding 1 billion users." That number would undoubtedly make Solana a staunch competitor of Ethereum in the race to become the DeFi ecosystem. Solana is already known for its low fees and fast processing times. The blockchain says it can process up to 50,000 transactions per second, which dwarfs Ethereum's 13 transactions per second. Sam Bankman-Fried, CEO of FTX and Alameda Research, an investor in Solana, believes, quote, "It's a blockchain that has the potential to support a DeFi ecosystem with world-scale activity." Next headline. Square looking to build wallet and mining solutions. As part of Square's Bitcoin Clean Energy Initiative, the financial services company will partner with Blockstream and invest $5 million to construct a solar-powered Bitcoin mining facility. Together, they plan to publicize details about the project's economics, along with the metrics associated with mining Bitcoin. According to the press release, the project is designed to, 1, raise awareness that Bitcoin mining can be done using renewable energy, 2, provide a proof of concept for a 100% renewable energy mine at a scale with operational cost and ROI transparently made open to the public. In related news, Square's CEO Jack Dorsey announced that Square is considering making a Bitcoin hardware wallet, with the designs being made entirely open source to the public. Among the key characteristics of a Square hardware wallet, Dorsey emphasized mobile access, finding the balance between simplicity versus security, and Layer 2 support. Next headline. Senator Elizabeth Warren speaks out against crypto. During a Wednesday Senate hearing on CBDCs, Senator Elizabeth Warren was very outspoken about, quote, the dangers that cryptocurrencies pose to the U.S. economy, citing cyber attacks, ripoffs, instability, and environmental concerns in proof-of-work systems. On Twitter, she wrote, "Cryptocurrencies promised to solve the problems in our banking system haven't come to pass, but Congress and federal regulators can't hide out and hope crypto will go away. It won't. It's time to confront these issues head on." However, she admitted to seeing the promise of a crypto solution, just one regulated by the U.S. government. She wrote, quote, "Digital currencies offer a lot of potential advantages over cash, but they need to be secure, stable, and accepted everywhere. A digital currency issued and backed by the Federal Reserve could provide the advantages of cryptocurrency without these risks." Ironically, she also mentioned that legitimate digital public money could help drive out bogus digital private money, which qualitatively is the same thing Bitcoiners say about the US dollar. Next headline. This week in Bitcoin and China. Weibo, a Chinese microblogging platform, has suspended the accounts of more than 24 crypto influencers. The suspension started at around 10 o'clock UTC on Saturday, with Weibo users reporting that as many as 25 accounts of crypto influencers or media outlets became inaccessible. The Qinghai province banned cryptocurrency mining on Wednesday, citing concerns over energy use. The block reports that major China-based pools saw hash rates drop between 11% and 30% on Wednesday, while two of the main non-Chinese pools remained steady. On Wednesday, China's Ministry of Public Security announced it had arrested roughly 1,100 individuals for laundering money through cryptocurrencies. The launderers allegedly charged between 1.5% to 5% to convert criminal proceeds to cryptocurrencies, though the total amount laundered was not provided. Time for FunBits. Perhaps leveraging the current Bitcoin mania in El Salvador, by the way, this item is called Volcanic Mining. Perhaps leveraging the current Bitcoin mania in El Salvador, President Bukele wasted no time moving on to another Bitcoin topic, mining. Less than a day after securing Congress's approval for the Bitcoin law, Bukele has instructed LaGeo, a geothermal company in El Salvador, to allow Bitcoin miners to use the country's volcanic resources as a way to produce renewable mining power. Via Twitter, Bukele says that engineers are already making progress on the project, as they have already, quote, dug a new well that will provide approximately 95 megawatts of 100% clean, zero-emissions geothermal energy from all volcanoes, and are, quote, starting to design a full Bitcoin mining hub around it. To sum up a crazy week, Lena Seichi, editor and managing director at the BTC Times, tweeted, Saturday, reveals plans to make Bitcoin legal tender. Tuesday, makes Bitcoin legal tender. Also Tuesday, thinks of volcano-powered Bitcoin mining. Wednesday, starts working on volcano-powered Bitcoin mining. El Salvador is moving toward the Bitcoin standard at maximum speed. And to end the weekly recap with a recap, here is a full description of El Salvador's crazy week as tweeted by Lee Wallace UK. So yesterday, Tuesday, Nick Carter started a Twitter space out of boredom while making pork chops. A couple of hundred of us jumped in and talked about the Bitcoin law. Then Caitlin Long found out the law was being voted on in Congress live while we were talking. Then Juice F. Bukele entered the space, the brother of the El Salvador president, and chatted with us plebs. More Bitcoiners entered the space, including Jack. Nick joked about getting the president in the space. Plebs tweet at Nayib Bukele. Nayib Bukele enters the space. 22,000 plus people enter the space. Nick, A. Pompliano, Caitlin Long, Alex Gladstein, and others discuss the law and share ideas about Bitcoin adoption. Pomp asks Nayib about mining Bitcoin in El Salvador. Nayib suggests possible volcano mining options. Bitcoin law passes 66 of 84. Nayib leaves the space, not before telling Nick he is the boss by presidential decree. Nick allows Nayib to leave and get back to changing the lives of millions. Nick closes the space and goes to bed. I'm not sure if the pork chops got eaten. All right. Thanks for tuning in. To learn more about Jeff and Forrest All's Alt 401k, be sure to check out the links in the show notes. And heads up, everyone, the Unchained newsletter has switched from a weekly news recap to a daily blog in order to keep up with the crazy pace of crypto news. Each morning, you'll get 4 to 5 quick headlines, a crypto meme or two, and a few recommended reads. Head over to unchainedpodcast.com, and the sign up for the email newsletter is right on the homepage. You can also find the link in my Twitter bio. Unconfirmed is produced by me, Laura Shin, with help from Anthony Yoon, Mark Murdoch, and Daniel Ness. Thanks for listening.